Also, bibbity bobbity boo. Been using those a lot just to let me try to put this a little bit closer up to my mouth. My name is Chestia Bridgetreve. If you're finding this video, I've been on this YouTube channel for 8 years tracking time and and working with a cosmic collective and an ascended mastery collective and with energies that just came to us before they came to other people. It's like a buffer. So whenever we talk about the Elohim and we even talk about the fallen angels, which every single one of you are, and the physics of what is going on in space and how the space around what we call this realm we live in, how that energy is changing and how that energy is then changing us, and how that all connects into an evolutionary cycle. Now we know is there's an activation on the planet. It's a sequence activation that if you go back, I believe it came in 2010. The core flip on the planet happened in 2010. And the reason that happened is because of to the year 2000 and Y2K. And it gets real complicated, and I've been thinking about doing this video since all this data came in, and I purposely am doing blackout videos right now even because of this video. So if you even go back and see, when I started not showing my face on every single video, and there's reasons I'm doing that right now, so that all of these timelines and everything arrange when it as it's culminating it and getting put together. My point in even saying all this is Earth is a clock. Earth, the planet, is a clock. Earth is your heart. Your heart is a clock. If you don't love, you don't remember. And memory is in your cells. But those cells will get buried because energetically, if you don't whatever, in the beginning, it's whatever you love. In the beginning, it's just holding on to something for love. From the spiritual community side, this conversation that we're having right now, and I mean, because this is time travel, it's what I'm leading to, and I'm gonna jump around on it because we're talking about fucking time travel. And we're talking about 5 perceptions of reality merging into one, and then being able to explain to all 5 where they've ended up. In 2000, 00, the number 0 is a big deal, and that's a main problem. Because we didn't understand that, what if all of if in 1999, if more of us would have remembered what a big deal 0 was, then we wouldn't we would have been able to activate in 2000. Why? Because it was a reset. Just because the people on the planet and the masses didn't get the energy and the power on the reset doesn't mean that the reset data didn't come in for all of us to start clearing it. in 2001, the whole 9/11 September 11th thing, with us tracking back and separating a 7-day calendar from a 10-day luminary planetary system that runs one charge at one time through all 10 luminaries, not on a choo-choo train. It doesn't jump one at a time. It doesn't go, "Okay, Venus. Okay, Mars, your turn. Okay, Neptune, your turn." It's not how it works. A 10 sequence that has now what's the difference between 1 and 0? What's the difference between 1 and 10? That freaking 0. What's Bitcoin? Decimals. What's that? Holding 0 places behind the veil? 'Cause the decimal is the veil. Why is it going backwards? Why isn't it going forward? Because there's no zeros. How did we end up in CERN? How did everything end up being particleized? Looking for zeros, going backwards from 1? In an evolutionary process of all of this energy having to culminate and down and be rebirthed. So and the system of ascension and the system that the ancestors that was just in my bones, like when I finally got cleaned up energetically to a point, and I just linked in, and it was like I had done it a gazillion times, and it's come clear earth of all their bullshit. And energetically, Isaiah, Jesus, and this is all of us that, and most of y'all that follow me are somewhere in form in that line, because that's what activated you in creation. No matter how you ended up in the middle of creation at end of days. I don't if you were written in by religion, or if you were from the planetary line that was planted in the system, or if you were the ones that had been around praying, "God, give me a son because it's dark and cold down here and we're all freezing to death." Because that's where this stuff started. And it's important to remember that, because when you don't remember that you can create the sun, that's when common error takes hold. Because common error, now that we've walked this whole freaking thing, now that we're merging October 7th back together again, now that Julius and freaking Greg are no longer twins, and making Stan Lees that are making DCs on a CD, that are running around the penitentiary with pins that are connected to dolls that like to bring and create issues in the halls and get paid for it to walk between walls and jump into your dreams and make you scream, so that you'll be in terror whenever your man arrives, so they can sell it to Madonna and get a ticket to the hive. See, I don't think these things up. I don't memorize them. Just when it's time for it to come in, it comes in the way it needs to come in. I get in an energetic flow, and I can go down to Morse code, and I can give you that in Morse code if I have to. If you're a being and you walk up to me right now in front of me and I need to speak to you, and the only thing that you talk is Morse code, guess what I'm gonna give to you? Morse code. I don't know Morse code, but I have a cellular message. And when I have a cellular message and I'm talking for the collective and I'm the rebirth structure that's attached with everybody down here, then when I'm giving you a message, you don't gotta listen. I'm just reading your energy, man. I don't even know why I'm saying it the way I'm saying it. It's gonna ping pong back and forth with us until either somebody steps in order to go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, you retards, y'all are both saying the same thing." Or until one energy dominates the other one because it's just being stubborn and it's just thinking it can control something, like a 10-day calendar that runs a 7-day system of the entire human race working on the planet together, with many down here bonded in order to deliver the energy from what you'd consider other sectors to get here first and then change the clock. Now, just in the process of ascension, this stuff is gonna happen because it's gonna have to be shown to all of us the 2 different sides. So this is where the Pisces mastery comes in, that you've watched this air freaking water battle so much that the entire planet is running dry of water right now. In certain areas, but in others, it's being mined and this and this and that because everybody's just trying to get the most out of they can out of a dying rock and a dying star. And I mean, even the tree huggers, because you're going to have to allow for those organics to change and you got to, your roots come with you. We're holding on to a past that's been on rewind for a really long time. That's what I'm gonna get into some details of this because right now what's happening is the inception date, and if you have a pen and a piece of paper and you get downloads on history and things like that, then May 10th, go look up May 10th. May 10th, the important dates and the infamous dates in history of May 10th. Because May 10th is when this 10-7 calendar lines up to a 4004 creation point. May 10th is when a new creation cycle is birthed on earth that attaches it back in to the etherics and all of the atmospheric power that everything down here needs, and the creation process and rebirth process is completed and everything turns on. May 10th is when a 10-day starts separating into 7. A 10-day calendar is how all the star seeds have always been managed. The star seeds have always come in with a current that attached 10 at once since 1972. Before 1972 is working like a choo-choo train, one at a time, getting thrown and thrown and thrown. 1972, the energy got here that everything came up as a 10. Well, then that meant the year 2000 was here in 1972. The logs were here to make the transition. 1972, everything sped up. Everything started speeding up. 1983, I went into the chamber. 1983, your lead starseed, your lead princess on the front of your ship that the cell network that you're connected into went like a bait fish in the middle of space. Come and get her! Come and get her! Zoop! That was 1983. 1985 in time travel world is 1958. 1973 in time travel world is 1937. 1983, 1938, same thing. Still getting run from the energy of the late 1800s. The year 1523, significant because 1523 is when the 10 planetary system got loaded with the last harvest energy. 1523, the planetary system that they're still trying to link in and charge the whole Earth and cosmos to charge through AI to get whatever they can out of it, started in 1523. And the Great Depression in 1927 was the first sign that it was out and that the tank was empty, which is why the fuck we came in 1972. And some knew it. In fact, we were sacrificed as their children to do it. We were sacrificed in 1927 and went into the banking system of Columbus and his fucking native friends that are damn pirates and lived in it as a sacrifice to create the money that everyone's been borrowing and lending on since 1927. But it's your own energy backup since 1523. You just were here to clean it. If the basement floor hadn't been falling out down here, if everybody went and vaccinated and your fucking basement floor fell out, then what would have happened is all the energy that dumped on us, you just burn off. And then it's like I tell you, the energy, it's how it happens whenever you finally get out of the matrix piece of it, when you get yourself untied from the actual electrical units, then when these 10-day cycles line up, it's lining up timelines of the past. And if you need to learn the lesson, it'll come in. If you need to learn a power, it'll come in. You might experience in a battle or whatever the F balls, but you will live. And by the time you're done, everyone's going to want to know how you did it. And the reason that it happened is because you were reliving a timeline down here on land of that had been on repeat for eons and then hooked up to an electrical gate and charged to the whole world. As soon as you break it, no more electrical gate, no more whole world. Now it's just kind of in your DNA. And if you need to learn it, it'll come out because it's going to mirror to you in the density around you, depending on how dense shit is around you. That's why everybody's got to clean up their bubble. Can't come in your head and clean up your own astronaut helmet. You got to clean up your own astronaut helmet. You gotta remember that you're in one. You gotta remember that your eyes are lasers. You gotta remember that you're staring at glass. And if you're staring through glass, I don't care if you tell me your eyes don't fucking work. You need to start training your eyes. And as soon as you do that, it's gonna end all your fucking problems. They're zoom lenses. They're handicapped right now. Strengthen them up, just like an ankle. And it's gonna give you a damn headache, damn straight. All of us that have had to balance the right and left brain because everybody's in their astronaut helmet, our brain had to be powerful enough to straighten out your eyes. And by the way, there's tech in all your glasses. That's where the first hack is. So what I'm telling you is they're using the glasses to hack into your brain. Then they're mirroring everything that's going on in your head. I mean, I can't even imagine because I broke out of it without that. I had 20/20 sight. So what I've seen and experienced is on the other side of that. So I can't even imagine if I had glass on my freaking eyes. But my body was sealed. I can tell you what that feels like. I'm sorry, I can't. Y'all definitely chat. This is a this I'm having to be real careful too. I know that we're gonna start following the cards and this is an entire system. It's what Kohu 32 and it's what House of Kochi is. We were here in order to reset it to its original form at the end of days, and to the ones who had been down here telling it and claiming it and walking it and using their ability to help the others. What I'm showing you is how we've been tracking it for 3 years. What I'm showing you is that when we have 04310 days, then and those are resurrection codes, then that's 10 days. So every time we had a 04310 day, and every time they were linked together and they were driving us nuts, what I'm saying is all of that is lining up in the next 2 weeks, and it's gonna overlap each other, is what I'm getting to. It just started yesterday. The calendars line up to May 10th. So May 10th is the magical date where 10 calendar and a 7 calendar line up and we dance together. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. A week ago today, that was our first Spica day. Saturday. Spica is Pluto, Moon, and Saturn. Moon was Vega day. Normies called it Monday. That was the third, fourth day. And then basically the fourth day was kind of behind the scenes. The next 3-day, Neptune, behind the scenes. But the normies call it Monday. The next day, Pluto day, but Pluto, the moon, and Saturn. So that's Vega, which the normies call Monday, but it's really tuned to Tuesday. It gets quite confusing. You got 3 days that are back there, okay? What I'm explaining to you is that it really is kinda like 3 days that are working behind the scenes, but those 3 days behind the scenes are finishing the week, and that's what goes into the financial harvesting system. What I'm saying is that June 13th and the bombs that happened on week 4, Bama, is because this was lining up May 10th, and they knew it. And what I'm telling them is that they pulled the trigger a year early and you fell for it. What I'm telling y'all is that this is what they were lining up then, because June 13th is really June 3rd. This is the mystery of January, June, and July. So it's gonna be trippy because June and July are kinda just thrown in there. We haven't, like, known really what June and July were. Well, we're what we're seeing is that when you line up May 10th and then you line it up to a new energetic flow, what I'm also telling you guys is that there's no ritual calendar down here anymore that doesn't equal up to a cosmic system set. What I'm also telling you is September 11th is really hold for this. Because we're gonna keep going with it, and by the time we get to I mean, we completely lap August. What I'm every Leo down here and, every Libra's Leo problem? We figured it out. You know why Libra has such a problem with these Leos? You know why we had to go toe to toe with all these fucking narcissistic Leos in a meta system? Because none of them are Leos. They're not real Leos. They're made in July. Literally. October 7th is really August 23rd, which is the first day of Virgo. See, this is also the mystery of Libra. Why is Libra a scale? How did Libra end up getting? Why you always gave Libra such a hard time? See, this is where the world starts realizing what Libra's really been fucking dealing with. Cause oh, it's just a scale. Libra will manage it. Hello. Leo came and took over our system. He came in our back door, literally. Then the whole world starts coming in people's back doors, literally. Now we've got National Cornhole on TV, literally. Great Lakes is formed from a prostate. What's a prostate? What's a pro-state? A row state? Literally. What's a strawberry formed from? Pumping a prostate. Do you fucking need one? No. How'd that little trigger switch get up there to begin with? Good question. Why are you going pro-state? You calling an Aggie to deal with it? I mean an agina? I mean with an agenda on a vagina? I mean, that's hooked up to Venus and Mars. You're screaming Mars, and Mars is building robots that make babies. Your children are coming out wrong. You're wondering what the problem is. But sure, back Tesla. It's crazy. So the moons and even how, because we went all the way to -9, we went all the way to the weeks, all the way to -9, and when we did that, we were in a 7-day. Well, now that's tripped into the 10-day calendar. And so what that's doing is everybody that's following the sun and moon energetics and doing their clearing with the actual cosmos, that's clearing and moving the energies around through you, through your biosphere, flushing everybody, cell regenerative, because there's a lot of layers that the human race needs to come out of. Everybody doesn't realize what's online. I don't care how good your body is right now. I don't care how healthy you think you are. There is a new upgrades that are available and interface layers because this is an evolutionary upgrade and they Metatron the whole world. So this is where you get your cosmic freaking swimsuit, and this is where shit is fixing to start getting really cool for you if you're following the cosmic system, because we're about to be a month ahead. Right now, we're where 3 days are lining up. If you're following the cosmic energy and you're clearing your system and kind of and guiding and just watching your energies and the colors and the numbers and the cards and all that are gonna in the video when we get the stuff which is gonna be real quick, then it's like all of this. We just have to follow the system and we just have to keep the current, but the rest of the world's on a different clock. And the rest of the world, it's what's airing your stuff live, correct? Well, by the time we get to October, you're a full month in advance almost. This is the Ides of March, baby. When if you were following me in March, whenever I had all those crazy dates and I was like, side A is this is October, side A, and this is da 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 da. Well, that literally is getting set up on the eclipses. And Venus is gonna go retrograde on Scorpio 1, honey. And then it's gonna line up on Algorab and balance the whole thing. So literally between right now and October 16th on a 10-day calendar and September 29th on a 7-day calendar, everything's having to be balanced up in the systems, in the cosmic etheric systems. Of all the energy that we've made for sure since 2017. And then everything that was linked into everything that came in 1972 linked to 2017. Not only that, that system's been completely cleared up and a new group has come in. They landed on the 20th of Starseed babies that us, the collective and Arcturus, opened up a royal freaking cosmic chain, basically out in what you'd call the etherics in space, and all the new babies that and the new 1972 network just hit the fucking planet. And literally, I feel like now, since the 20th, and then I got this download with the clock system, they sent me to fucking school y'all. They sent me to tell y'all what the hell is coming in, and you best freaking get some domes set up because people are going to start flying. It feels like I'm working for the children. You know how it's all about the children. Well, of course we all figure it out by the end of it. You thinking that you know what it is the problem. And these timelines are literally passing through each other this coming week. The full moon from Antares to Aldebaran. Let's talk about it. Remember, I don't know if you're watching the Lasco in the red right now after and that little star that shot through. If you're not following me on Instagram, House of Kochi, freaking follow me because whenever we're doing cosmic crap, I mean they've already shut me down over there. These videos I don't know if they're going out, so share them if you want other people to see them. But I'm showing y'all we're doing this shit out in space. Our corrections are triggering these cosmic alignments to reset the core system to hold the energetic. That's what we've been dealing with, clearing space. All they did was try to come in and calculate it and run it. Now we know how they've been doing it. We've got a new system that's already set it up. We've been bringing it in for 3 years. We gave you every opportunity in order to reset it. You should have just reset the date and then everything would be fine. Now the date is coming undone and it was on the fig tree to begin with. And where's the fucking crow? And Dad, why you been eating your children? We got something to say to you. We need to have a meeting because the work is done. It's been completed. You either have a 10 set and eventually you're getting run from a 10 set. We've been getting run from a 10 set. That's why 21, 22, and 23 became so nuts. That's why they masked everybody in 2020 so that they could realign you right now. So if everything was being run from audio visual, then how does the ascended angels, how do we outsmart that? We change the frequency of the scene. And every single time that you went into the bank, you left a frequency there from 2020. Doesn't have anything to do with the way you look. It's a frequency when you walk into that bank. Oh my gosh, Dawn, this is why you morphed. So here's what's going to might start happening. You go they masked everybody, right? So everything in their system is gonna be run off audio visual. So first of all, like, and you're just and this is why you can't think about it. This is why it has to be from the heart, and then it has to be on your current plan if you end up even going back to that bank. But let's just say, for shits and giggle gaggles, that you end up next week feeling like you need to go back to some bank and you remember this conversation and you go, "Oh my gosh, I went there in 2020 and I haven't been back." When you go in, you might shapeshift. If you go into the bank, and let's just say, for shits and giggle gaggles, that you're going into that bank is why you were led there in 2020, and that was the connection that was stolen from you, because 2020 is when the whole thing was aligning. That's when the royals were doing all their shit. So everybody knew after 2020 what everything was connected into, all the way down to the clock in every single system. FYI. When you go into the bank, if somebody else was assigned your image, you might look like them. They might call you a different name. If they call you a different name and you haven't seen yourself, go look at yourself real quick. Take a picture real quick. It'll change real quick. So do a screenshot of yourself really quick, because you might be able to catch the image. If you look like yourself, but they still called you somebody else, then just even realize that that's how thick the illusion even is, because they saw somebody else, because literally that was coded to somebody. It was your energy, but somebody else was coded over it. Or, like, when I was doing this in the original Earth grids, if you had it happen before, because this is where this experience is different. If you were cleaning the Earth grids between 2018 and 2021, and something like that happened, then the Earth, the living land, was telling you and showing you. People were calling me Mrs. West in Sedona, for instance. I would just walk in somewhere and they'd say, "Hi, Mrs. West," and I'd go, "Hi," and then I'd walk out of there going, "What the fuck?" In Las Vegas, I end up looking like Britney Spears, is another one. But after, if it happens now, it's because they stole all of those energies and assigned them to different people. So this is where these interfaces and morphing is gonna start, and it's actually how they did it, which is even more fucking complex and disturbing. Just remember that we're doing this the same way they did it. From 2000 to 2020. So it started yesterday. Today is basically the final mirror of the 04310 and the reset. And today is the 23rd, and because we've only picked up 3 days so far, right? We've only picked up 3 days. So today is the 23rd, and collectively it's the 26th. I mean, and on the 10 day it's the 26th. But By the time we get to the 24th, which is tomorrow, we already pick up 3 more days. So the 24th is the 30th. This is where, you know, it's like I told one of the energies that were around me, I was like, "Y'all are fixing to have overflow problem. You don't have a resource problem. No, that's not your problem. You're about to have an overflow problem." Because you put dams on an energy that you're not going to be able to stop. No matter how you tried to stop it, you didn't realize that you were in a vacuum of space getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You might have felt more powerful and powerful, but she's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's why you do this the right way. When you do this the right way, and then you need to blow up your etheric body and you need to have that power, oh shit, you'll be shown just like coming in and taking over a 10/7 calendar. But my birthday was October 7th. And I'm an original Rothschild, but the Rothschilds were a link of families. It's interesting this is coming up. If you go back and look at the story, because this is the White Draco. And by the way, cards, tarot cards, what's CARD? Drac. Everybody loves the stories with Joker and Harley Quinn, but they worship the Joker. But the Joker ain't nothing. The Joker ain't nothing but a freaking another one of them running around here without Harley. Because the Joker and Harley outsmarting each other is what makes it notable. Correct. So the White Draco is basically everything that was ever created by the Draconics. The White Draco, the feminine Draco is your body and space and the cosmos and galaxies. I mean, more of that information than you even want to freaking know. That's why, but you have to make space for that information. And that information is just in a different phonetic. And it's taken me 8 years to inbred that into all of y'all. And finally, you're getting used to the words and all of that. But all it is a different vocabulary. But we were having to teach it to you so their system didn't take you over. We're getting out of their system. And this all goes back to Marie Helene Rothschild. This is why New York is flooding. New York is going to continue to flood until there's more spiritual workers that are there that start working with the feminine and the planet, not after greed and all of that, because it's the shadow feminine, Marie Helene Rothschild, the freaking feminine lines, and how we were stuck in those lines and everything that they put on us to clear us. That's what Christ was all about. Christ was a system that they thought we could never achieve. Whatever, they just threw it into Christ. Down to the bitter end, they're still doing it. Okay, you're Christ, then clear all this karma. Here, I'm gonna do, clear this. We had to the point where we caught it in midair and stepped into ourselves because they killed us in another timeline. I just described what the Bible is all and the resurrection's all about. So what I'm telling you is when they hacked into your system, they hacked into your resurrection process and took your heaven. That's what they've been walking around in. All that happened is 2021, that fell to the gutter. Well, that's okay because then you call it the fallen angels, but it's O negative blood is what it is. And it's RH negative. And everybody down here that's RH negative has been dealing with some sort of what we've been telling you everything was going to do to you because it happens to us first. Now the whole world's tuned to that. The whole world went -9. We haven't even got back up to 0 yet. Next week is week 4, but we're coming out of 5. This week was the week of change, and boy, did it. And from tonight when you go to sleep until tomorrow when you wake up, you're gonna have 3 extra days in your Santa's bag. They're gonna walk out for you in the next 3 days, but it's already been aligned and started lining up yesterday, and it's gonna anchor to the whole world on the 31st, but you're gonna align on the 25th. Everybody's entering their Veskapassis. Shit's about to get interesting. Aldebaran to Antares, all the knowledge, all the way up to M22. All the books are open. Can you hit them? You don't need to go searching for it. You've read it once, you've heard it once, or and the only reason that you're hearing it is because it's tagged in your DNA and then it's showing up to remind you for you to go research it. Once you do it once, it's in your system. If you need to learn it, or if that process is already in, because the knowledge goes in, so the knowledge is in your computer. Now your brain is working with matter now, because your brain is creating reality with matter. But in order to completely align the physical human in a field to where matter is showing up right in front of them for their mind to be able to project it right in front of them in the now, in the physical. You have to be able to line up your eyes. And you have to be able to your brain has to be able to hold your right and left eye together. Google fucked that all up. And this is why they were worshiping goo. They're literally pulling one eye away from the other. So your brain and the timelines and walking through the healing and adjusting and being and just being in a flow and doing the right thing and being with your heart and learning how to maneuver in life. That is what straightens up your eyes. Because your eyes start zooming in and zooming out and you can see these different layers. It's not just going in your head, is that's interesting, and backing up and sent to a library that says, "Oh, somebody asked that question before. Oh, yay, you. You were the first one to ask the question. Yay, you. She gets to go on honor roll. Who's who? They asked the question first. Okay. Are you gonna fix it?" Aldebaran is the mountain, it's the halls, it's everything climbing, it's all the occult information that's coming out of Antares. Well, let's talk about Antares. Everything that I'm telling you right now about time, about the 10/7 calendar, about everything to do with the occult, everything to do with the military, everything to do with the armies, everything to do with the clock system, everything to do with Texas Instruments, your calculators, IBM, the weather, your electricity, how wood and metal, galactic, anything galactic, all the Galactic Federation, freaking space programs, the gateway, the ear testing, tuning of the music, anything alterations, medical, Harvard, phonetic magic, Antares has all the fucking records of it. Antares is the system of it. That's why Antares beings never went unconscious, because you're the system. Not good or bad, but you've been keeping your system really is the system. It's the system that I'm telling you is in working. It's the 10-7 system. Antares is the data. Antares is the not the sim, not the data, they're the mem. Your body and your consciousness is the 10-7 system. That's why the Galactic Federation, the world wants to make up all the Galactic Federation, and then Michael did this and blah 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 blah. Blah. Well, no, how about it just never happened. Why did we have to get to Earth to begin with? Because Tiamat's cut in half. Okay, what if Tiamat was never cut in half? Whenever you're coming back in to change the human race and fix 20 million years, and you got to get it into 200, and then it goes 600, so then you clear 1800, then the world particleize it and doesn't even recognize what it is and says, let's sacrifice it again. Sure, let's sacrifice it again. Sure, you all sacrifice the same being on 5 different levels. Okay, sure. Well, that blew up your fucking time shit. So Antares, and according to, my chart, and I'm not tinkering my belt or nothing like that, but back to Libra, because I got all those 6 things in Libra in the 7th house, by the way, most of them. Because I was here to communicate. I was here to bridge. Why? Because I was in the planet, literally. The Venus and the whole combination of it and the feminine. That's why the feminine gets treated bad. But why do they do what they do to the feminine? Because they know you're the planet. They want to run you. That's it. Not personal, according to them. Antares. I mean, it's got a straight shot down to Aldebaran. Our men sure the fuck were picking it up. Hey, they were working as handler units in 2015. In 2015, if your man all of a sudden started making you squirt, this is why. Literally a military unit that's connected into Michael, that's connected into Melchizedek, that's connected into the halls. Each hall has a unit. All of us collectively that have been working and clearing up Gemini and blah 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 blah, and all of us on the ascended teams that know we had to take Michael out of the game because Michael was the problem, because Leo needed to become Libra. So basically Leo and all this Leon and Leonard and the Leonard Comet and Gibson and Gibbs and all of that shit, like the Libras are the real Leos. And Libra is really Virgo. So Virgo is really Leo. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. Virgo mirrors Leo. That's why whenever you have a really powerful Leo, that's why Virgo can mirror them. That's what the twin thing is. But see, if you're a really good Libra, then you're the one that controls the body. So if you're a Leo and you're arguing with a Libra, what you're really doing is arguing with your own body. FYI. Because we're talking Libra here. You're thinking that we have a narcissistic energy like you. You think that we're the one with the narcissistic energy. You're the one that thinks that our brain works like Harley. No, we're just mirroring the Joker. Our mind don't work like that. We don't even think of this shit. That's why we're not even gonna get to the root of why you're doing it because it's too fucking horrible. We're just gonna figure out what you did in the puzzle and fix it. That's the Harley Quinn way to do it. That's the Kali way to do it, which, by the way, we are because we rule Sagittarius. What fucking retard Leo thinks that Sagittarius is ruled by a man anyway? One's listening to Antares because Libra is really the pearl of Scorpio. If you didn't have Libra holding the gate, you wouldn't have Scorpio. So when you're giving Libra a hard time, that's why Libra will shit, judgment will hit your ass because whether the Libra understands it or not, if Libra don't exist, you don't even have a swamp to swim in. We're keeping balance. You just don't like it whenever we show up in balance and balance. Well, we're not gonna take the blame. You gotta drain your own fucking swamp, man. It's gonna pull you into the halls deeper. It's gonna pull you into an Aldebaran setting, but that's okay. You're gonna learn the collective reason why Libra was pissed off. All that's happening for Libra is we got a gate higher to go teach your ass and show you this time because we reprogrammed Orion. This is what we did. Orion used to only have 3 little colors: red, green, and blue. Well, now you have 32. And you best figure them out quick because those 32, then shoot, you can't keep track of what happens next because it's been running your world for millions of years. So that I want to just add this because it's showing me too how to prepare us. So the Antares energy, I'm having to be real careful right now about what I share. Once we get past this leap, I'll be able to give y'all calendars and we'll be able to do this together. Right now, I'm having and that's real quick, like in June. We're going to be able to do that. Right now, I'm having to do it like this. We were in this Pleiades energy and it was lining up these squares, these boxes. And now you've just got different colors. So it's zoom your body and your energy is running in. It's either running in one of these or you're running a bigger box, but you're the circle in it. So it's how well you're picking up the circles. This is Aldebaran. It's just that's why I'm on you about the glasses right now because we're talking about Orion. And when we're talking about Orion, we're talking about your daily life activity, especially in Bellatrix and Betelgeuse. And Bellatrix is where the new moon is going. So all of this is having to get into these little squares. This is your Antares. And Antares is all that gold is the thought. So FYI, yellow is the mind and yellow is thought. So see how these are collective thoughts that are running. Well, if you're running in a cosmic grid, you're seeing all these angles. Well, you get out of this square and then but because you're picking up these diamonds, but this is all the space running behind it. That's the magnetism. This is the Ophiuchus. So these are beaming down in diamonds and then it's going into squares. This is all the occult knowledge is beaming in to show you what to do to change things in your physical world to counteract different things. That's why we call it little witchy moves, but that's what it is. We're just picking up energy literally from yourself. But collectively, all this energy then is going to go through this. And this is 33 and 44. Week 1 and week 2 of Bama. The 33 and the 44 phonetics, everything's going to break down into the Babylonian code of it. And this is the new moon. Everything's going to line up on this. This is what my Saturn retrograde is on. This is why I had these keys. And that's going to happen. Oh, that's making me hot. Somebody's getting that. It's right here, which is going to be June 5th for the normies. And on the 10-day calendar, it's going to be June 14th. And then it's going to hit over here on the collective calendar on a Sunday, right there. And then all that energy is going to go when we talk about the mind and your mind lining up. This Lyra 1, number 26, and number 27. This is in Capricorn. This is, and Vega is the pupil of your eye. And this energy is that energy of compulsion, like with vampires. But it's not, I mean, it's a bigger problem than that the world needs to address, because those of us who aren't vaccinated, our brains are on, and our brain matter moves so quick, and we don't even mean to, but we can like, it's always checked when people around us, are we did we take them over on accident? And it's just because your brain is moving in the grids in the magma and it's pulling, like, you're not even meaning to. Some people do mean to do that, and they train to do that. What That's the next phase when when your eyes are building up your reality that I didn't get to finish earlier. This is the final key of it, is Lyra 1, number 26. And that's the originals, that's Polis, that's your original eye connected back to your soul, with no stained glasses, no filters, no, just lining it up so you can make a decision which way you want to go, but it's all your options. But what you're doing is holding that 10-day calendar, and you, when you're talking to the people around you, this is where in the training you're gonna feel like you can't look at them in the eyes, or you overcompensate and you stare at people in the eye. But that's what you're doing. You're communicating, but you're also teaching your brain in order to deliver the information, but to not compel. Because what's really happening is that you're mirroring their brain to them. That's why every single person that comes around me, I have a different conversation. It just depends on who you are. People's mistake is thinking that I talk to everyone the way I talk to you. You're wrong. You're completely wrong. You were 190% wrong. If I'm around somebody and they don't have any of this Akashic in them, I don't talk about this stuff. I might deliver a message, but it'll be something that they'll remember and I'll remember, that'll link into something later on that'll blow their mind that I'll never find out about. But because I've learned my lesson, I don't want to accidentally compel them. If I accidentally compel them, I'm responsible for them. I don't want to sire nobody. It's not why I'm down here. I'm here to get rid of the sires. I'm here to show everybody that you have this energy in you. It's not a vampiric problem unless you hand it over to Beatrice, because it's taken away from you, because you can't control it, because your mind's too strong and you're compelling people. So that's why they sent you to your room. No, you're wrong. That's not what's happening. But according to the matrix and how these energetics have been governing you since 2020, that's why you got sent to your room. And me too. We were being governed from a different system that nobody told us about. That's why it's not universal law. That's why we can change the scene. That's why the Essenes have been here the whole time. Essenes have been changing your scenes this whole time. They were making Essenes in the Mormon faith. They were still finger pricking them. Do you know what the sign for greed is in the Essene Bible? A mask. You let it play out and you find out all the keys. You tune yourself up to the energies cosmically. You follow your path, whatever that might be that's coming up from you. You meet it head on. You figure out what's going on. You integrate it. You respond to it the way you feel like you need to respond to it. Later on, you might look back and think you might change it differently. The next time it happens, you do. And then you get a rhythm with it. And then it just becomes a part of you. And then people call you a superhero. That's it. But then when you're a superhero, you don't recognize you're a superhero. You think, "I didn't do anything to be a superhero, so how am I a superhero?" Well, it's been going on since 1523, if that helps you explain it to yourself. That's it. You had the ability to read a cosmic tank on different timelines and dimensions because of the burials and the intention within your lines and the reason it was being done, no matter, because we walked pure intention. We's the Holy Ghost. You didn't give us anything else. The world didn't create an avatar for Christ to go into. You kept the body on the cross. You never took the body off the cross. Well, then what template do you want us to go into? That's why we were here. We walked the intention. We got a new body. It's noticed too. And all that's happening right now is going to line up on a notice 2 Saturn retrograde on July 5th. And July 5th on the 10-day calendar is June 20th. So, like I said, I know that y'all all want me to give you this calendar and mark it out. You can do this. It starts from the 10th. If even you just want to get a piece of paper for this first 4 weeks and make 10 boxes, and then each box is a planet. Starts with the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, just like on the astro chart in that order. And then that put your 7 days, do your 7 days, make a calendar. That's what I'm doing over here. But right now, it's better for you not to have all the details because that's the other side of the information. Once you have the details and once you really know how it all works, and if you're the one who's creating it, then you better be damn well ready to protect it at all costs. So, this is where, and this is the mastery of fire. Because to master the wheel you got to master all the elements, but then this was all about the prophetic tongue. This is all about changing reality with your words. But if your words don't have any backing, and then if you have nothing in order to make that word mean anything, then it's absolutely nothing but a prison. The love is what makes a super soldier. We wanted to learn unconditional love. God, please teach us unconditional love when we go to earth. We became ascended masters. We learned unconditional love, all right. We had to wait for the whole world to back up to the point where you left us behind. That's the other thing I've realized. I didn't go up anywhere. I went straight down. And then I had to wait for all y'all to catch up and come down to me. And that's what was scary. It's also why they thought we's the devil, 'cause we got there first. No, I'm sorry. I went up there and wanted to know where dad was. I found out dad was on the ground. Oh, I'm sorry. Me and dad on the ground at the same time? Where's God? He'd become the devil? Well, shit. Guess I better sit down here for a minute. Do you know that in Anaheim, they called me to ask how many souls I had? Are you glad I picked up the phone? We'll be back. Love y'all. That's your update. It's all in process. Pairing in process. Pairing in process.